What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat Podcast.
Ready when you are.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have Tru Heel Heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls. I'll get it.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, and we are live on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as our Tru Heel Heat Facebook for Tru Heel Heat Check, number 28, Top Dynamic Duos. Our latest episode talking about the latest in NBA and NBA news and much more. And of course, to talk all about it, we got our trio back together here, our triangle offense. First up, we got my main man, the Knicks enthusiast of the crew. Chris G is back. How you doing, Chris?
Feeling good. Gearing up for the end of the NBA regular season. Knicks looking pretty in that top 4 seeding, so just gearing up for whoever's going to give us problems in the first round.
Ready for that first round exit?
I hope not.
But we got another Knicks fan joining us once again. He's basically a part of the panel now. He is my nephew. He is streamer extraordinaire, TC Taj. How are you feeling?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Excited to talk today. I missed Chris last week, so I'm happy everybody back together.
Absolutely. So we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps us out so much. You can also share this video with all your NBA fans, family, and friends on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can also sound off in the live chat, sound off in the comments down below. Let us know what you think about the latest in NBA news. And of course, our big list for today, where we're going to count down the top 10 best dynamic duos in the NBA this season. I have to specify and say it that way because I was saying top 10 best NBA duos of today, and people were going with real recency bias. Shout outs to the creator of this thumbnail. We appreciate you so much. I got a good laugh out of that. But yes, we appreciate y'all for that. So sound off and let us know your top 10 or who you think is the best duo in all of the NBA today. And of course, we love to do all-time lists, so we're gonna probably next one do the all-time best duos in NBA history. So you got that to look forward to as well. So if you want to tell us your all-time duo in the comments as well, you could do that. But we got to talk about the latest in NBA. Chris, you brought up your Knicks. Your Knicks got the Thunder tonight. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a competitive game. They're still there's still some seeding that can be rearranged in the East. I think we're only behind the Celtics like a game or two. So I know the Thunder want to finish strong and secure that 1 seed. So it should make for a good game. The Knicks been playing really well. I think they had like 1 or 2 losses lately, but other than that, and they're to teams that are hot right now, so you can't be mad. They've been one of the best offensive/defensive teams in the league in the last 20 games when it comes down to offense and defensive ratings. So hopefully they can carry that going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the season pans out. Todd caused a ruckus a couple of episodes ago when he said the Spurs were going to beat the Thunder, and they're nipping at the Thunder's heels. Do you think they're going to catch the Thunder before the end of the season, get that first seed, Todd?
I do not think they're going to catch them, but I think they're going to make it very, very close. Spurs are playing some amazing basketball. It's like every time I tune into a Spurs game, they're up 30. Like, I don't remember the last time they've had a close game. So I like that the youth on the team are not taking this opportunity for granted. I was waiting for them to kind of hit a wall, start losing to some teams they shouldn't lose to, and they're not playing around. If they're supposed to win by 20, they're going to beat you by 20. So I think they'll definitely make it close, but the Thunder I feel like there's no way that they're going to lose that first seed. They're going to make sure that they get that home court advantage, because them not having home court advantage will definitely feed into my prediction even more. I don't know if they could beat the Spurs in a 7-game series in general, but definitely not with the home court advantage.
Nah, that'll be kind of dire for them if they lose out. That would be like a real hit to their confidence. But
yeah.
I was the schedule, because both teams now have 8 games left, and I would say like the Spurs have significantly less tougher, a much easier schedule than the Thunder. The Thunder got the Knicks tonight. They got the Pistons on Monday. So they do. Yeah, they got the Lakers twice. They got the Jazz, so that should be a win. But then they got the Clippers, Nuggets, and Suns to end off the season.
The worst part about that schedule is every single team that they play against, besides the Jazz, are all fighting for playoff position. So they're gonna come and play their best basketball. They're not gonna just take it as we play the Thunder, we could lose this game.
Yeah. Like the Spurs have easier kind of games that you could say like they're probably going to win most likely, like the Bulls, the Warriors, the Trailblazers, the Mavericks, but they do have 2 games with the Nuggets, the last team that beat them. They got 2 games with them. They got a game with the Clippers on Thursday, and then they got also the 76ers, who are fighting for their playoff position over in the Eastern Conference. So it's gonna this whole 1 seed race is probably gonna go down to like the last game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what goes on with that one, but we got to talk about the latest NBA news, and it feels like Groundhog Day. Every 3 months we get the same news from the same person, and yes, we're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, which the Milwaukee Bucks are out of play-in position. Like the play-in and playoffs in the East is kind of already locked up. It's going to be kind of the Hornets and stuff like that, because they're so far ahead of the Bucks. So the Bucks are out. We talked about last time that they were trying to kind of take Giannis out for the whole season, and he was denying that request to sit down for the rest of the season. And now we got a new report from Sam Amick, who reported that Giannis and the Bucks are headed to a quote unquote divorce. I was like, the verbiage with all these Giannis freaking news has been so weird and so cryptic. So the report reads that the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo are reportedly headed for a divorce this summer. The team's current stance that he won't be medically cleared to play, despite the strong indications that he believes he's good to go, is the clearest sign yet that these 2 parties are headed for a divorce in the summer. So this is just a latest example of kind of Giannis and the Bucks not being on the same page. What do you think about this latest thing? And is this finally going to lead to them going their separate ways? Because I feel like we've been honey-dipped way too many times when it comes to Giannis leaving the Bucks, whether it was the trade rumors during the trade deadline, whether it was last summer when it looked like he was gonna split from them, and then he's rocking the jersey over in Greece, and now we got divorce rumors at the end of the season. Chris, do you think that we're headed to finally Giannis heading somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I read an article that ownerships said either there's only two options for Giannis this summer. And it's either he signs the extension or he gets traded. There's no in between. He's not going to play on a 1 year prove himself contract. Like none of that. You either extend or we're going to trade you. I think it's inevitable. It's just been a rough season from start to finish. From before even the season started, it's been rocky. So I don't see any reason not to trade him. It's just who do you trade him to? I can see a bunch of teams that will, that can not make the finals and could potentially go after him and pull that trigger for him. And we'll see what happens. Even the cat knows Giannis is going. Listen, divorces can be tough, but I know a nice big city that's perfect for divorced husbands. and he can find a lot of love here if that's what he's looking for. And we have a nice place for him in Brooklyn that apparently has already been signed by his name in dirt sheet rumors. So we'll see what happens in the summer, man.
Dodge, do you think that Giannis is splitting, and do you think he's gonna wind up with your other favorite team, the New York Knicks, after the divorce?
Honestly, I would love for that to happen. I do not think that is going to happen. I think that he's going to leave. I think if you're the Bucks, if you're going to just dump Giannis, this is a draft class to do it, with also getting back a good player from another team. This is a very deep draft class. I was just talking to you guys about it before we started. So this would be a great time to just get a lot of picks, get 4 first-round picks on top, maybe get another one in this year's draft on top of your guys' pick, and then get another 1 or 2 good players. I do think personally the Knicks is the best fit for Giannis. I think that it gives him opportunity to not only be himself, but not have to do everything. And there's not a lot of NBA teams that I think can do that if you're trading for Giannis. I feel like a lot of other teams have to gut their core, get rid of one of their best players, where now Giannis is just going into another situation where he has to be the man. But I definitely think it's inevitable. Giannis has done what he needed to do for that franchise. He's brought them a championship. He's been all NBA first team every single year. He's been healthy. There's nothing much more he can do for them, and they're not trending in the right direction. Their team is very bad.
Yeah, the whole Dame Lillard is like the death nail for the whole franchise. Like that trade did not work out for them. Remember, they weren't even supposed to get Dame Lillard. Like when Dame was leaving Portland the first time, all indications had that he wanted to go to Miami, and that Miami had a package for him, but the Portland Trailblazers didn't want to take that package. They take the package from the Milwaukee Bucks, and it feels like Portland has a better future than the Milwaukee Bucks coming out of that, which is so weird. And Dame is back on Portland, so like
Dame swindled them.
Yeah, yo, he did it for his city. Yo, I'm gonna do you the solid.
Yeah, that's literally what he did. He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get away from you guys for 2 years. Y'all build up your assets. I'll be back."
Yep, it's crazy indeed. But yeah, we'll keep y'all posted on the Giannis saga drama as it goes on, because I don't think this will be the last report before he eventually leaves in the offseason, or hopefully leaves in the offseason. And so we'll get to that. You guys got to talk about the Knicks a little bit. Got to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. We had our first loss. We had a 9-game winning streak. It was over. We lost to the Pistons and some guy named Jenkins. I don't know. That was weird. But yeah,
St. John's and Iona kid. So you gotta give him a little bit of respect. New York guy.
He gets
he's my alum. He's from the same college I went to. So yeah, I appreciate
just a little bit.
It's always what happens with the Lakers. We could have the advantage, no Cade Cunningham, no beef stew, and some guy that never has scored more than like 15 points scores 30 on us. That's usually how it works with the Los Angeles Lakers. So yeah, we lost that one, but then we got back on the winning side, and Luka Doncic has had a phenomenal month of March, almost averaging 40 for the month, set a record, only tied a record made by Michael Jordan with 6 straight road games with 40 points or more. And somehow the NBA.com ladder for MVP dropped him. He dropped in the MVP race when Victor Wembanyama, I guess his post-show pressers and this hot run for the San Antonio Spurs jumped him up to number 1. I believe Shea was number 2, Jokic was number 3, and Luka at number 4. How is it possible that Luka Doncic dropped with the month that he's having? And it goes to kind of what Todd said on the last episode, this Luka bias, this Luka agenda by the media and NBA, it seems, needs to be stopped. What do you think, Todd?
I am not surprised at all. I know one thing about me, if somebody's my favorite player, I know how the media views them. And I said previously that Luka will never, ever, ever win an MVP, and it sucks because he deserves it. But I've never seen an NBA basketball player average 40 for an entire month, move up in the standings, and then a game where he has 36 move down. I was just like, I don't know what else he's supposed to do. I definitely know that the NBA and the media is trying to push for Wemby to become the face of the league. And so I know that they're trying to push him to be up there with the SGAs and the Jokic of the world. Does he deserve to be over Luka? No, but once again, it's a media award, and it's something that I find is very interesting that people like Kendrick Perkins and Will Bond have a vote in who's the MVP of the NBA, because these guys are TV personalities. They're going to say things that get clicks. They're going to basically say what everybody else. I've literally watched Kendrick Perkins change his MVP pick for 7 days straight. Every time he was on air, he went from SGA to Wemby to Luka to Jokic. Like, he changes it every day. So it's just interesting that those type of guys get a choice, but him moving down after the month he's had, like, I don't think he should be any lower than 2 with the month that he's had, and also the year that he's had. A lot of people are trying to make it seem like he's just had a good month. He's been having an amazing year. It's just that he has to average 40 for the month to get to second place in the MVP standings. So I don't know how that's happened. I definitely don't understand how Jokic moved up ahead of him in the standings. Like, I don't know what that. I don't really understand Wemby either, because Wemby plays 29 minutes a game. Like, he's barely playing. The Spurs are beating everybody by 40, so it's not like he's getting ridiculous stats. So it's like, I don't really know what else this man has to do, and I've just come to the conclusion that he just won't ever win one.
Hey, it fit your agenda of the Luka bias, but it also fit my agenda of Victor Wembanyama better than Nikola Jokic from our top 10 center ranking.
It definitely did.
Chris, you weren't here last week, so we did our top 10 centers. Like I said, I had Wemby at number 1. What do you think about Victor Wembanyama's run as kind of being an MVP candidate, and where do you have him as far as like your ranking?
I think you can put him at 1. I think it's arguable, because he does make a supreme impact on the court on both ends of the floor. He's super efficient on offense, but I mean, he's probably the best defensive. He's probably defensive player of the year this year too. So when you take those things into account and just his leadership at such a young age, I mean, they have such a young team, and he's the leader of that team, and they're playing at an elite level. So I think those things you can account for and put him in the number 1 spot. It's a tragedy Luka is not in the top 3 conversation, because Luka by far is having one of the best offensive years in totality I've ever seen. But you can't count guys out like SGA and Jokic. Jokic is putting up 50-point triple doubles, like 20 games. Like, it's not like he's not, you could say whatever you want about him on defense, sure, but offensively he's putting together another quiet, fucking triple double season. So it's like, it's hard to keep him out of the conversation as well. Poor Cade gets hurt, has collapsed lungs, and he totally falls out the conversation when he should be up there as well. So, there's 5 guys legit that can all be considered for number 1. It's all about the media, unfortunately, and who they want to portray as the face and the MVP of the league. Yeah, it's tough. I think all of those guys can arguably be in the number one spot.
Yeah, I think that Shea has kind of had it locked up for like a month now as far as who's going to win the MVP. I don't think it like a month ago I think it was like unanimous. It would have been like a unanimous MVP, but I think that Luka having this crazy run in the month of March and really since you're absolutely right, Taj. It's barely been since the calendar changed to 2026 how long this run has really been going on for Luka because I thought that, the first couple of weeks in October, he was amazing with him and Reaves kind of orchestrating the offense for the Los Angeles Lakers. November was a really good month for him. He had an off month in December, but as soon as January came, he's been playing out of his mind. He's averaging like 35 points per game since the calendar changed to 2026. And then we have that amazing stat that Tim Legler was talking about on ESPN this week that he's averaging over 57 points per game that he contributes to, whether it be scoring or assisting to. That is the most in NBA history. This is one of the greatest offensive years in totality that I think that we've ever seen. And it's kind of to me, and I have PTSD being a Kobe fan. This reminds me of like 2006 Kobe. 2006 Kobe when he's dropping 81, leading the league in scoring, 35 points per game, leading that hopeless Lakers squad with Smush Parker at point guard, and the second best player is Lamar Odom, who doesn't even start all the games. Like that, dragging that team to a playoff spot, not only a playoff spot, but like a 7 seed. I thought that Kobe should have won MVP that year, but of course they gave it to Steve Nash, who it was more efficient and was running the show for the best team in the Western Conference. And that's kind of the same thing when it comes to Shea this year. So I think it's Shea. I would say probably it would either be Luka or Wemby. I kind of agree with Taj. Like you got to take into account how much Wemby is playing and how much Luka is playing. And I feel like we've established time and time again that the Spurs have assembled this great roster of young talent. They got those young point guards who are always improving. You got Keldon Johnson coming off the bench. Mitch Johnson has done an exceptional job at coaching. But we have also stressed all year long, and the analysts have as well. That's why it's kind of preposterous to not put Luka higher, is that the Lakers have a flawed roster. They don't have a roster that really suits Luka Doncic, and he's still playing amazing.
Very, very flawed roster.
It's crazy how Luka couldn't spend Christmas with his kids, man. That shit lit a fire under his ass. So I can't spend Christmas with the kids, this bitch. I'm gonna show you what I can do in January, girl. And 2026 is the year of Luka. That's it.
Because he know every game his kids watching on their TV. He gonna make sure to put on a show.
Yep, that's it.
Everybody know my petition. Nah, we don't want him to see his kids no more.
Put it in the contract.
Yes.
Put it in the contract. You want to see your kids? Bring us a championship.
Yep. Once you get us that ring, because we'll pay the lawyers to make sure that you win that dispute.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. But yes, we're gonna keep y'all up to date on the MVP race and everything else going on. We got 2 weeks left of the regular season, so we're going down the stretch. So we're gonna have like a playoff preview. We'll have our end of season awards coming up in the next few weeks, but let's get to our list for this week, fellas. Let's get to our list because we are winding down this regular season, and we've been doing a bunch of lists when it comes to the current NBA landscape, and a lot of the NBA is filled with prominent duos of the season. So we are doing the top 10 best NBA duos of the season, of today, however you want to say it, but it is based on what they have delivered in this season, not kind of what they've done in like a 10-game stretch, but what they have done in totality for this season. So we're going to go 1 through 10 like we usually do with our list here. Todd, start us off. Who you got at number 10?
Before I say my number 10, I just want to do an honorable mention of Harden and D Mitch. I think that if they played a full season together, they would easily be on this top 10 list. But I just didn't want to throw them on the top 10 list. But they've been together a month maybe. Probably playing. Harden's been out. D Mitch has been out some games during that stretch. So, but if they after a full season of them, they'll for surely be in the top 10 list. I just wanted to give them their flowers because that's one of the best backcourts in the NBA. My 10th on this list. It sucks because one of the players has been playing very well and the other one's kind of been underwhelming to me. But my 10th on this list is going to be Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards. I think Ant has been amazing this year. I think Julius Randle's been kind of lacking, kind of something that we more to desire from, and it's showing with the record. You know, the Timberwolves have made the Western Conference Finals the last 2 seasons, and somehow they're the 6th seed again, or they're teetering that 7th seed playing line. You know. So, Ant to me has been if not the best shooting guard, the second best shooting guard in the NBA this year. So that's really boosting up the ranking of the duo a lot. But you got to give Julius Randle his props. Some games he does play well, but that's who I have at my 10th spot.
What about you, Chris?
So I have two disqualified duos and one honorable mention. One disqualified duo, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, simply because they haven't played enough games together. The other one is Kawhi Leonard and Darius Garland. Shame on you, Romeo, for putting them in the top 10. Shame on you, because they're in the same fucking boat as D. Mitch and James Harden, and these motherfuckers are in a play-in. But anyway, honorable mention. This one's going to be a good one. It's actually Jaylen Brown and question mark, because Jaylen Brown does the majority of the work for the Celtics, right? But every night it's one person, usually Derek White, who's the guy like being the Robin, but it could be a guy like Peyton Pritchard getting hot. It could be somebody, one of their shooters getting hot. So it's Jaylen Brown and, somebody on his team, because they're the 2nd seed in the East. They deserve some love, even though they don't have that consistent second guy yet, with Jason Tatum finally back in the fold. So, that could easily be Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum in the number 1 spot if they were fully healthy for a season. Now, my 10th team, or my 10th duo, is Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Atlanta Hawks. Great on defense. They've been a great defensive duo. Jalen Johnson does everything on the court, literally everything. But Nickeil at NAW has been doing a good job consistently scoring the ball this year. Everybody knew he could be a good defender, but he's added to his game a little bit. He's been a little bit more of a playmaker. He's been hustling, on the rebounds and stuff. But his consistency in scoring has improved a lot, and it's really helped this Atlanta Hawks team secure the 6th spot, or fight for that top 6 spot. So I'm going with those 2 guys.
All right, my honorable mention is going to be Jaylen Brown and Derek White. I'll give it to Derek White because I feel like he has been kind of the number 2 for the Boston Celtics much of the year. And of course, if he was around for a little bit earlier, or we're doing this at the end of the season, maybe you can squeeze in Jason Tatum. But I went with number 10, LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple. I think that this has been like a great backcourt and really been the catalyst for the Hornets play. Like those 2 guys, you got LaMelo, who's been much more consistently on the court. He hasn't played like all the games this season, but he's played probably more games than he's played in like the last 3-4 seasons this year, and facilitating that offense. And then you got Con Knipple, who is just an amazing 3-point scorer. He feels to me like with just 2 weeks left that he has the better case to be Rookie of the Year over Cooper Flagg because of how much the Hornets have improved and could potentially be in the playoffs in comparison to the Mavericks, who are nowhere near in the playoff race. So I feel like Khan has made his mark. He's a great 3-point shooter. Together, they're averaging nearly 40 points per game. So offensively, they've been great. And overall, I just think that they have been the main catalyst for the turnaround for the Hornets. So I had to give them love at number 10. Number 9, though, I did go with Jalen Johnson and Alexander Walker because defensively and just how they can do so much on the court, that crew is just great. Like you got Nah, who's averaging 20 points per game. Of course, Jalen Johnson is like a walking triple double. He's averaging 23 points per game, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. They're good on defense. They're great on offense. And the Atlanta Hawks would be a poverty-stricken team if it wasn't for these two. And these two were so good that they traded away the face of the franchise, Trae Young. So that is like the biggest stamp of approval that Atlanta sees how great this duo is together. So I had to put them on the list, and I got them at number 9. Who you got at number 9, Chris?
So I have a Hornets duo, but it's not the same duo. It's actually LaMelo and Brandon Miller. And the reason why I got Brandon Miller in there is because he's scoring the most on the team. But other than that, if you look at how the Hornets are built, like he's their real glue guy. He's the guy that's going to make the hustle plays on defense. He's the guy that's going to coordinate like the body movement on offense, not necessarily the ball movement. He's going to set the picks. He's going to create the space. He does all the little things that you need for a guy on a team like the Hornets, especially with the Hornets who are just young, athletic, and can shoot. You're going to need a guy who can get the rebounds, chase the rebounds, close out on the defenders when everybody else is running and gunning. And that's everything that Brandon Miller does. And he's a consistent scorer. He could shoot. He could go to the basket. He traces down offensive rebounds. Like he does a little bit of everything. So I've always been a big fan of Brandon Miller's game since he's been in the league. And I think he's like very under the radar for this team because of Con Knipple and, of course, LaMelo Ball. So I went with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller.
That's fair. TC, who you got?
I had something at my 9, but that's because I kind of had the same thing as you guys. But I was like, dang, can I put them as a duo? Because they're really a trio of LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple. But I'm gonna squeeze them on the list because I actually really enjoy watching the Hornets. So I'm gonna go with LaMelo and Brandon Miller. I think same as Chris, Brandon Miller has been extremely under the radar. I think that he's been one of the more improved players. I'm happy that he's not in the conversations because he was a top 5 pick. He was a very good player in college. So I'm happy that he's not in the conversations, but he's way more efficient offensively. He looks more confident in his offense, and he's been healthy. I think that's always been the big key for him. He's always been injured. So to see him healthy for a full season and see him, I wouldn't even say he's at his peak because I think he's only like 22, 23, but to see him have a full healthy season was really like exciting for me because I was a very big fan of him coming out of college. And LaMelo Ball, I've always been extremely high on LaMelo Ball before he even got into the NBA. I think he's gonna one of the best playmakers in NBA. He's one of the most exciting players to watch in NBA. He's always gonna fill up seats. He does have his times occasionally where he just doesn't play good basketball, but I think Charles Lee's done an amazing job of teaching him how to play winning basketball, and it's showing on the court. He's been a better playmaker, turning the ball over less. He's had some big games, so I just think that I didn't have it in my cards for the Hornets to be even a play-in team, let alone have an opportunity where everybody's picking them to win the play-in and be in the playoffs. And I have to give a lot of credit to the two guys that have been there before Con. Even though Con is a very big key, like I said, I see them more as a trio. I got to give a lot of credit to LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller for both stepping up this year and becoming better basketball players for their team.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I love Con Knipple.
Trust me, I do too.
That's why I said. That's why I said over Brandon Miller. But you're absolutely right. Brandon Miller has been one of those like most underrated players of the season so far. But TC, who you got at number 8?
I'm right aligned with y'all. I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jalen Johnson. I think that duo has exceeded every expectation I've ever had for them. I was a little concerned to see how the Hawks would be without Trae Young because Trae Young's been their driving force. But I've always been somebody that's been very high on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But when I say high on him, I'm thinking 14, 15 a game and good defense. He's averaging 20, and it's a light 20. Like I was watching their game yesterday against the Kings, I think they played against, and he started off slow, and then literally every time I watched him shoot the basketball went bottom of the net. Like, I don't think he missed for a cool 4 or 5 minutes straight. Like, he looks super confident. He's improved so much offensively while maintaining the defense, and that's something that you don't really see in the NBA. Usually if somebody becomes a better offensive player, the defense takes a little bit of a dip. He's still been an elite defender while becoming an elite offensive player. I mean, I've just been exciting to see. And also, like you guys said, the Hawks are a 6 seed. Once again, wasn't in my cards this year at all. So I give a lot of credit to guys that are able to uplift their team. I think Noah was that big signing that got the Hawks to be firmly in the playoffs. I don't think they can do that with keeping Trae Young and not having Noah. So just want to give those guys their flowers there in my I think my A spot. Yeah.
Chris, so you got a
This is where I have Ant-Man and Julius Randle. Julius having a down year, but he hasn't been terrible. I feel like I got him a little higher on this list because Ant's been so good. It's just the way the team is built, the Timberwolves are built. I just think the rest of the team doesn't complement these two guys. I think Julius Randle could be a lot more efficient with the right team around him, with the right guys around him, other than Ant, because I think him and Ant actually work really well together. And you can see that from Ant's side too. He likes playing with Julius Randle. I think it's just a matter of the supporting cast that they have around them.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I got them on my list, but not at this spot. Number 8, I got Paolo Banchero and Desmond Bane. I think these two guys have really worked well with each other, and they've kind of been the whole reason why the Magic have kind of stayed afloat in the playoff race, because I think that without these two guys working so well together in their first year together, I think that they would probably be out of the play-in and probably in the position where the Bucks are. But most of all, I think Desmond Bane has kind of gotten Paolo to commit more on defense, and he's been great on like the offensive boards. He's been hitting the glass. The second half of the year, Banchero's like had a big difference in his play, where he feels like more of the player that we've been expecting him to be all this time. And I think a lot of that has to do with Desmond Bane kind of being a leader for the Orlando Magic. So I wanted to get them some love, and I put them on the list at number 8. And then at number 7, that's where I got Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. I agree. Julius Randle is not consistent, but he is a Laker great. He is a Laker legend. So I'm going to give him some love on this list. And these two guys, man, they're averaging 50 points per game, which is higher than some people that I got above them on the best duos list. Like, they are a great offensive duo. Whenever Anthony Edwards is not kind of had the ball in his hands, it's usually in Julius Randle's hand. Of course, if it's in Julius Randle's hand, it's probably going to be him shooting the ball or going to the rim with it. But I think when these two guys are working well with each other, when they're working the pick and roll, when they're doing screen handoffs, they work really well on offense. Defensively, Anthony Edwards is great. Julius Randle is there, so it balances each other out. So I like them as a duo, so I had to put them on the list. I got them at number 7. Chris, who you got at number 7?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so yeah, at number 7, I have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. They've been going crazy. They're combining for like almost 60 points between the both of them per game, and it's the same thing as kind of like the Timberwolves, right? It's just like their supporting cast isn't that great, so their record really doesn't reflect it. But in terms of a scoring duo, I mean, they could score with the best of them this year, and that's Embiid kind of changing his game a little bit. He kind of got that old man game, but he's still efficient. And Maxey just, exploding for 30 a game. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the rest of that, the 76ers team that needs a little work.
Yeah, I once again disqualified Joel Embiid on my list because he's only played 35 games. So I got them as an honorable mention. I forgot to mention them, but you're absolutely right. They have been great together and putting up buckets in the the paint and outside. They're great together, but I just need to see Joel Embiid on the court more than half of the season. That's all I'm asking for him. Just play half of the games, and I
thought he played more games this season. Honestly, I thought he played.
They played 74 games, and he's only played 35 of them.
Oh shit! I might have to disqualify him.
TC, who you got?
I actually did have them as my 7th spot, but I also might have to disqualify them. But it's like, if my uncle knows the agenda that I have, so I'm really trying to find any reason not to put a certain duo on this list because of one of the players on the duo. So,
you know what? I actually, that's another honorable mention that I don't have on my list.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna stick with Maxey and Embiid here. Cool.
Wait, I need to know who this duo is, though.
Oh no,
he hates Sengun.
Yes,
Oh yeah, Yeah, I think we're all in that fucking
Okay, all right. So
Rockets.
because I didn't have the Brandon Miller and LaMelo guys. 'Cause I said I had them as a trio, so I put them on the list so I could take KD and Sengun off. So I'm gonna keep Embiid and Maxey on my list. Yes, Embiid has only played 35 games, but the 35 games that Maxey and Embiid have played, it's amazing. And I also have given him the benefit of the doubt because I've always been a big person on this. I have no problem with load management if you're going to be healthy for the playoffs. So if Embiid and Maxey and that Sixers team is going to be healthy when it matters to go to chase a championship, I'd rather Embiid be healthy at the best times of the year. He's been overweight for a while. He's obviously very injury prone. I don't need to see Embiid play 60 games in the regular season if in the playoffs he's going to be hurt. I'd rather see the best versus the best at the best time of the year. So he's looking good at the end of the year. These past couple games that he's played, Paul George is back. The Sixers are looking like a very good and definitely a contender in the East if those guys are all healthy and playing. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm also just a very, very big Tyrese Maxey fan. I'm like, what he's been able to do with or without Embiid, he's been amazing. So I have those guys at my 7th spot, which is perfect. And I'm happy that we can keep those other guys off my list.
Those other guys can't even say their name. It's like Lord Voldemort.
Yeah,
but yeah. Let's go with your number six here. Who you got at 6?
Okay, so this is very biased because they haven't beat them in the playoffs. I have my 6th spot as Cade and Durant. Okay. I think they're one of the better duos in the league, and they're also one of the younger duos in the league. So they have so much room to grow and be even better. But I cannot put them in front of the duo that I have in my 5th spot until they beat them in the playoffs. I value playoff wins very, very, very much so. I feel like I've always been big on that. Like, even when people argue with me with the SGA and Luka things, Luka's beat SGA in the playoffs. SGA has not done that. I feel like if the best players show up in the playoffs, Granted, Cade and Durant are young. That was their first playoff series, and that can very much change this year. And then once that changes this year, I'll be the first to text my uncle and say I'm going to switch my duos list. But as of right now, Cade's been amazing. Durant's been amazing. They both improved, and they're not even just improving a little. They've improved drastically, which is why the Pistons are the number 1 seed, and I think they're one of the better duos in the NBA.
Who you got at number 6, Chris?
I got the same exact duo. They've been really good this year. They complement each other really well, but got to see them win in the playoffs, especially against a very biased duo that I have in my top 5.
I understand that. I went at number 6. I went with Wemby and Castle here. I think that they are gonna be like higher up on the list as the years go on because they're so young and they've shown so much potential together. But I had to kind of disqualify them because this really should be Wemby and Fox. Honestly, it really should be. But I feel like Castle has been more of kind of the breakout star more than a Fox on this team. He's been more kind of central to a lot of their big wins this season and just being that kind of explosive guard in the backcourt that complements Wemby a little bit more than even Fox does. So I put them as the duo at number 6 here. But Wemby's been amazing. Like I said, he's the best center in the NBA this season, averaging 24 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 assists. He's been amazing this year. Castle has had a better kind of second half of the year more than like his first half, but he has those explosive like 30-point games that he can get. But overall, they're averaging like 40 points together. So I really like them as a duo, and I think they're going to be higher up on the list as the years go on. So I got them at number 6 for now. At number 5, I'm sorry, guys. I had to fit Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns here, and the duo that y'all mentioned is higher than them. But I put Brunson and Cat here because, man, this has just been a match made in heaven on offense. Like these two guys just make magic. Like you got Cat, who's one of the greatest shooting big men of all time, but Jalen Brunson is the best shot maker in all of the NBA. 26 points per game, 6 assists. He's averaging 46% from the field, 37% from three. He has just been like an offensive marvel. And you know me, Chris G, I was one of the lead people that was crapping on the Knicks, saying that they overpaid.
We
for Brunson.
overpaid.
And
We have that shit on video.
He has shut me up. He shut me up every year. So I will make my penance and put him on this list because he must be on this list. And Karl Anthony Towns this year is averaging 20 points, 12 rebounds, 49% from the field, 37% from three. He's just a defensive liability. Well, they both are, but offensively, you got to give them some love. So like I got them here, 46 points per game together as a duo. So they got to be on this list, and I got to have them in the top 5. Who you got at number 5, Chris G?
This is where I have Wemby and Stephon Castle. Just two young guys that could bowl out. They complement each other really well. They're only going to get better. This could be very well the number 1 duo in a year or two because they're that good and they have that much potential. But very much like Cade and Duran, they're young and they're not tested in the playoffs, battle tested against some of these other duos. So yeah, I'll put them in the 5th spot.
What about you, TC?
In my 5th spot, I have Brunson and Cat. I think that, like my uncle said, they're one of the best offensive duos we'll probably see in the NBA for a while, just with how well they complement each other. Brunson was one of the best tough shot makers of all time, especially in the mid-range area, and Cat gives him that spacing that he needs to just work all the time. But I do have them lower than a duo that I have at 4th because of how much of a liability both of them are on defense. So it's like, are they combining for 46? Yeah. Are they going to give up around 30 to 36? Pretty much. So it's like you're only a net 10 positive. It's like, you got to give what you can get. But what they've brought to the city of New York has been amazing. You know, like I was one of those people that used to go downtown after every Knicks win in all those Madison Square Garden riots, you know, and I haven't seen nothing like that in my life. So, and it's because Jalen Brunson and Cat were amazing in the playoffs, and they've been amazing since they've become a duo. So they have my 5th spot.
All right, who you got at number 4?
Number 4 is where I have Wemby and Castle. I think what they bring on the defensive end is just something that can't be matched by probably any other duo that I have above them. Stephon Castle, like I said previously on other episodes, I think he's the best on-ball defender, or just honestly just the best guard defender in the NBA. I have him above Amen, Nassar, all those guys, just because he gives you a little mix of everything. His physicality is elite. He's super athletic, super agile. Like I said, I've seen him guard Brunson. I've seen him guard SGA. I've seen him guard Kevin Durant. Like he takes the other team's best matchup every single time out. And then on top of that, Wemby's the best interior defender that we're going to see in our lifetime as well. So I think with that, and then also I think I really value Stephon Castle's playmaking leap. I think he's 8th in the NBA in assists right now. His ability to get into the paint is just feeds everybody else on the Spurs. Like lobs for Wemby are wide open. Julian Champagne's been one of the better role players and shooters. He's wide open for open shots. Keldon Johnson's open for open shots or backdoor cuts. Vassell's a great shooter. He's open for open shots. And it's a lot because of not only Wemby getting double team, but the pressure that Stephon Castle puts on the rim. Like if he sees anybody in front of him, he's going to go put his head down and try to go get to the basket. So I just think that duo, I think I'm more so high on their upside, but I'm also really high on their defensive side. Like they're two legit two-way players, you know, like Castle's not lacking on the offensive end, except obviously his jump shot, but that's something he can work on, but still giving you 17 points a game and 7 assists, you know, that's great for, you know, your second option when you have somebody like Wemby as your first option. So I have those guys at 4.
You said that they're probably the best when it comes to defensive. I know one better. My number 4 is Cade Cunningham and Jalen Durant. These guys are great on offense. They're amazing on defense. They have really kind of, you got a perimeter defender in Cade Cunningham who shows so much effort and energy on that side. And then you got Jalen Duran, who's the the defensive anchor in the paint for one of the best defenses in the NBA, and the whole reason why they're the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. And most of all, both guys are averaging basically a double-double. You got Cade averaging 24 and 10. You got Jalen Duran averaging basically 20 and 11. So these two guys, they're efficient on the field on offense. They can even get better. There's room for them to both grow, because I feel like Cade Cunningham can work on his efficiency as far as around like the mid-range and the three-point shot. But Jalen Duran has taken such a leap. I had to put them in the top 5 because I think that's where they belong, and they've been the real reason why the Pistons are number 1 in the Eastern Conference. So I had to put them above the Knicks, and just to upset my 2 Knicks fan co-hosts here. Who you got at number 4, Chris G?
Oh, you think you're upsetting me with that? Because this is gonna fucking upset you. This is not only a biased pick, but it's purely probably to piss off SP3. Because at number 4, I have Luka Doncic. And
This
Austin
is preposterous.
Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves at number 4.
Excuse me?
And that's because this isn't even a fucking duo. It's a trio with LeBron James. And when they become a trio, they become fucking worse. So when it becomes a Luka and LeBron show, it overshadows what Austin Reaves could do. And then there is no more Luka and Austin Reaves.
This is just preposterous. This is just preposterous at its finest.
No,
Ridiculousness. Ridiculous.
I'm sticking with my 4th spot, even though these guys probably deserve to be higher. No, real talk. They've been great. Luka having.
Hey, at least you put them in your top 10.
Yeah, yes. Unlike fucking other people I know, these guys, they probably deserve to be top 3, but I am biased, and I can't do that to my guys like that. But yes, great duo when they're on the court alone together.
Who you got at number 3, Chris?
Now, number 3, this is where I have Jalen Jesus Christ Brunson and the big bodega cat, Karl Anthony Towns, one of the greatest big men shooters of all time, one of the most creative scorers for a guy who's only 6'2" and could put up 26 a game. Cat, I will say, the last, for real, right? Because 6'2", he don't even look. I'm 6'2", and he doesn't. I look fucking taller than him on a basketball court, so I don't know. I will say the last 20 games. Cat has finally figured out how to be effective without the ball, be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive glass for a guy who's 7 feet. He should be. And he's also not fouling as much and has stepped up on the help defense side of things, which has definitely helped the defensive efficiency of the entire team. So a lot of improvement that's been going on. I know there's a big defensive deficiency with these 2 guys, but I'll take the offense from them any day. They are leading New York basketball into sites we haven't seen in decades. So putting them in the 3rd spot.
That is fair, even though it's very biased. It's very biased. But
there has to be some type of bias shit on this show. Come on. We can't go one episode without some type of bias.
Very biased. Who you got at the top 3 in the top 3 TC?
In my 3rd spot, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren. I think that is another duo that compares a lot to Cade and Duran, with their good on the defensive end and good on the offensive end. But I think it's a duo that really complements each other a lot more. Chet is elite on the defensive end. SGA is serviceable. He's a good defender. I think he gets a little too much praise for how he is on the defensive end. I don't think he's this elite 2-way guy that everybody thinks tries to pin him out to be. He's a serviceable defender. I think, from watching a lot of basketball and a lot of their games. But when they get into the good and great and elite defender, I'd be like, all right, let's relax here. But Chet compliments him a lot with that, with being elite on the defensive end. Chet is one of the best defensive players, not even just bigs, players in the NBA. but that also complements where Chet is kind of lacking and still improving on the offensive end, where you have SGA who is elite on the offensive end. So I think that's probably one of the best complementary duos in the NBA that I've seen. They just are perfect for each other, where one lacks, the other one's better in, and it just really, they just play off each other very well. And also just this past little stretch of the season, SGA has been a much better playmaker, and that's kind of helped Chet's confidence. He's had some good games with SGA trusting his teammates a little bit more. So that's who I have in my third spot.
Yeah, and I gotta agree with you. That's who I have in my third spot. I got SGA and Chet Holmgren. I think that these two guys, yeah, they very much are akin. I would say they're this generation's Steph Curry and Draymond Green, where you have this otherworldly offensive player mixed with the defensive kind of anchor of the team, leading one of the best defenses in all of the NBA. Chet Holmgren, I think, is going to probably be top 2, top 3 in defensive player of the year. He does need to take that next leap when it comes to the offensive end of the court, but there's no denying he's a great defensive player. He's in the paint all the time. He gets the boards, he gets the blocks, he affects shots all the time. He's averaging about like two blocks per game. His defensive rating is off the charts, one of the best in all of the NBA. And it's a great balance between what Chet can give you on the defensive end. That's the level that Shea can get you at. I think that you're underrating Shea on defense, because he's a good defender. He's a good defender. I wouldn't say he's a great elite defender, but he's a good defender. That is the whole reason why he is considered the best guard in all of the NBA, because he's not just doing and focusing on one side of the court. He's actually good on the defensive side of the court. So it just overall makes them one of the best defenses in all of the NBA, and it balances them out where they are kind of been the leaders. Like, you could say that this is like a trio when J-Dub is on the court, but J-Dub's only played about like 20 games this season. So it's really been this duo that has led to the Thunder being at the top of the Western Conference. So had to put them in the top 3. But number 2, this was a toss-up for me between the top 2. I think any day of the week you could flip it and reverse it and stuff like that. But I will say, yes, they do have the better third player on this team than they do on the other team. So I put at number 2 Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. They lead all of these duos in offensive rating, in points per game. They're averaging 57 points per game, and that's not even counting into how much other points they contribute to with their assists, because Luka himself is averaging like 57 when it comes to that. And then you combine it with Reaves, who's been having such an elite year. I think that if he doesn't get hurt, we would be like, this would be so nut that this is the best duo in all of the NBA. I really think that the injury that he had in midseason really affected how people kind of look at this duo, but they started off the year on that crazy offensive run. But Austin Reaves this year averaging 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 49% from the field, 36% from 3. He's efficient. He has a good effort on defense. He's not like an elite defensive player, or wouldn't be called like a great defensive player, but he shows more effort than his other 2 players that are considered stars. So I got to give Austin Reaves some love in the leap that he's taken this year. And of course, we've talked about Luka Doncic. He should be top 3 MVP certified, 34 points per game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. He's just a walking kind of triple-double or 40-piece on a given night, especially in the month of March. And these 2 guys have driven this flawed roster of the Los Angeles Lakers to a top 3 seed in the tough Western Conference. They are a top 2 duo in all of the NBA. So I got them at number 2. Who you got, Chris, at number 2?
At number 2, I have SGA and Chet. Great duo. Complement each other really well. SGA is a good defender. I agree, he's a good defender. He's really good at playing the passing lanes. I think it's very underrated, and he's like good at denying the ball, which is really important when you have it. I mean, the league is slowed down on elite point guards compared to years past, I think. But I mean, there's still a lot of good, like really good point guards out there. And, you know, SGA can run with the best of them on the defensive end. So I think that's just a testament to his ability on defense. But Chet is an elite interior defender. his offensive game is only going to get better. He's another guy. He's only 23, 24 years old, so he has plenty of room to grow in that aspect. They're just not number one because the number one duo is out here setting records.
This is true, but who you got at number 2, TC?
Number 2, I definitely do have Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves. Just had to pull up a stat while you guys were talking. In games without LeBron James, this duo is averaging 63 points, 14 rebounds, and 16 assists a game, which is otherworldly. So that's why it definitely is a trio. LeBron's been playing a lot better the second half of the season, but what we saw those two do to start the season when LeBron wasn't playing was something I don't know if we're gonna ever see again. Like, it was ridiculous. They were going 40 for 40 some games. But I think that just what they do on the offensive end, like was mentioned before, we're looking just at the points. Luka Doncic to me is, if not the best, the second best passer in the NBA, and Reaves has improved as much, very much so, as a playmaker. So they're also providing a lot of points by creating for others as well. I just think that when push comes to shove, having two elite guys that can go get you 25 to 30 points per game while also giving you anywhere from 6 to 10 assists a game is something that you have to value in this sport. And like we both know Luka's bad on the defensive end, but Reaves definitely does try, and he gives a lot of effort on the defensive end. You know, I just think he's not a good defender because of some physical limitations. He's not as athletic as other guys, but effort-wise, he's trying his butt off, and he's guarding sometimes when Rui maybe is out or Marcus Smart is out, he's guarding other team's second best player while they putting Rui or Smart on the first guy. So I definitely got to give that duo their credit for surely.
Yeah, I looked up a stat as well. The Lakers are 10-2 without LeBron James when Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves are on the court together, and their net rating is plus 16 with no LeBron on the court and Luka and Reaves. So it's preposterous that some people wanted to leave them off this list because they're a trio. Like, come on, we can't deny that. Yes, probably the Lakers have a even higher. You can make the argument they have the top trio in the NBA, especially with what they've done in the second half of the season. But Luka and Reaves are a top two, top three duo in the NBA today. So had to look that up as well. But I think we all got the same number one. So we'll start with TC. Who you got at number one?
Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray have been the best duo in the NBA for probably the past 4 to 5 years. Just the way they play off each other is just so beautiful to see. Like, as I've gotten older, I've always appreciated watching basketball, but like now that I can really just sit back and watch and just appreciate like their handoffs, their pick and roll, the way they play off each other, the way they know where each other's going to be, where they like the ball, it's just amazing to see all the time. And also gotta take it to account, they have a championship together. Like, that duo has taken a team to win an NBA championship, you know? So, and also it's very big. I think another thing that I take into account is the years when Jamal Murray was hurt, the Nuggets weren't a very good basketball team, you know? And when he's healthy, they are a very good basketball team. So that just goes to show how important he is to that duo. I just also just like how they also make everybody else around them better. Jamal Murray is a very underrated passer. Jokic, like I said, is the best or second best passer in the NBA. They raised the level of everybody else. We got Peyton Watson talking about he's going to get a max contract this year. Aaron Gordon got paid. Christian Braun got paid. You know, like, they make everybody around them better. So it's like guys want to go play with them. They make guys that are role players, guys that are undrafted rookies. They put them in positions where they can end up making a name for themselves and getting a good bag at the end of the year. So I think that's also another thing that makes that duo just so amazing. Like, Aaron Gordon revived his career. Christian Braun contract is ridiculous and very undeserved, but he played amazing last year because Jokic and Jamal Murray had him looking good. So I also like to take that into account a lot with duos, how much you can raise the floor of other players. And they do that probably the best in the NBA by far.
Yeah, no secret. Yeah, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are the best duo in the NBA. I got them at number one as well. It's just been great to see what they're doing this season because I feel like it's more noticeable. You're probably right that they have been the best duo for the last 3-4 years, especially since they coming off of their championship run in 2023. But I feel like it's more prevalent this year because Michael Porter Jr. got traded, went to the Nets. I think that it stands out even more. One, for that reason, and two, Jamal Murray has finally been playoff Murray for a whole regular season.
Yeah.
Like he finally showed up. He usually shows up in the months of April, May, and June, but he has shown up all season long. He's a 50, 40, 90 guy. He's averaging 25 points per game. He's been shooting the ball ridiculous. He's one of the top 3-point shooters this year. He's averaging 7 assists per game, 48% from the field, 43% from three. He's just ridiculous. He's been playing lights out this year, and it's been great to kind of see him as a healthy guy on the court and playing next to Nikola Jokic, who's having an otherworldly year, like 27 point triple double. He's averaging for the year. He's the top assist guy at center. What the fuck? And in the top in rebounds as well. So it's been amazing to see what they do on the offensive end of the court. Jokic's been shooting lights out for much of the year. He's kind of dropped down a little bit, but still 57% from the field, 38% from three. He's been ridiculous. The one knock against him is Jokic is not anything on defense. I feel like he's a subpar defensive player. Yeah, yes, he is. He's a traffic cone a lot. He's a traffic cone that pushes you. That's what he is on defense. Jamal Murray, though, I think that he has kind of stepped up and shown more effort on the defensive end of the court in place of what Jokic can give you on that end. And I think that that's what makes them the best duo in all of the NBA right now. Chris G?
I mean, I actually had OG Anunoby and Josh Hart. No. Listen,
now this.
Jokic, I think I seen some ridiculous stat. They're like they average like the most points per game as a duo. I've had like the most like 50-point, 40-point games as a duo where like one of them scores 50 and the other one scores 40. Like some ridiculous number that like they are just one of the best offensive duos probably in NBA history. And it's they have that championship that proves that, they've done it at a big stage. I'm happy to see Jamal Murray be playoff Murray for a whole year. And it was even more exemplified when Jokic was out for those few games. Yeah. Murray was averaging like 30, 35 points a game. Like, he put the offense on his back where they didn't hurt as much. They lost a few games. They're not going to be the same without Jokic, but they didn't falter. They didn't go 2-10 or, whatever. So I think it's just a testament to how good Jamal Murray is and how consistent he's been this season and how much more, this duo can do together. They still got a couple. Jamal Murray's maybe 28. He still has prime years left. Jokic is not showing any signs of slowing down anytime soon. So this duo can still put in more damage.
Absolutely right. And the history they made, they reached 400 wins as teammates, and they became the first duo to ever have one player with 50 points and another player with a 15-15-15 game in the same game. That's
ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Like these two, it's unquestionable. Like I love Luka and Reaves, and I would love to make a biased pick and say they're the top duo, but there's no denying Jokic and Murray. Like if they didn't have this duo, the Nuggets would be a poverty-stricken team. They'd be a lottery team without them.
They would be in the Peterson and the Boston sweepstakes every year, though.
Most definitely. But that is our list, our top 10 duos in the NBA today. That was a lot of fun. We got to do one on the all-time duos so I can throw some more Laker bias. I'll probably have more than one Laker duo on that one for the next time when we go back to talking about duos. But that brings us to the end of this edition of Tru Heel Heat Check.
Want to thank you all if you joined us live. Thank you all if you watched us on demand. Thank you to my co-hosts here, of course, Chris G and TC for joining us once again. I appreciate you, my nephew, and let the people know where they can follow you on social media, where they can check out your Twitch channel and everything else you want to plug. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. As always, I appreciate everybody having me. You can follow me on Instagram at IamTC1. You can follow my clips pages. They are both called TC1 Clips. And on Twitch, you can follow me or subscribe to me at Automatic TC. And as always, I really appreciate being on every Sunday. I will be back next week per usual.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for that. And I appreciate you, Chris G. Let the people know where they can follow you, good sir.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at THCG and on Twitter at Tru Heel Chris G. You can find me on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel here, talking some basketball, doing the shorts, doing the clips, and also at the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling channel.
Indeed. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. I will be back on the wrestling channel tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time with our NJPW Sakura Genesis 2026 preview. I'll also check out the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast from yesterday with myself, True Draw Josh, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ talking about everything from the world of professional wrestling. And check out everything we got on this channel here, like last week's edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. Me and TC talking about Luka's MVP run, Cade being out. Our most watched episode of THHC since Luka got traded. So put Luka in the title. It brings success to this podcast. You can also check out our TED Season 1 and Season 2 reviews. Check out Clocking In, reviewing the Pit Season 2. And we got some more TV content here on the channel as me and Corey Brennan have started reviewing Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 1, The Northern Star. We reviewed on Friday, so go and check that out as well. But we'll be back. We're going to wind down the NBA season for next week and the week after with our playoff preview. So be on the lookout for all of that. For Chris G, for TC, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check, number 28, Top Dynamic Duos. We are signing off until next time.
Can't wait to put Jeremy Lin and Carmelo as a great duo of all time.